My name is Jack Turner, and I've learned something about assumptions. The biggest mistakes people make are the ones they feel most confident about. When my wife moved in, Silver Creek Estates noticed, not because she made noise, not because she caused problems, but because she didn't follow their patterns. No introductions, no HOA meeting, no interest in their rules. Just quiet, controlled, and completely uninterested in fitting into their system. That bothered Karen Whitfield, because people like her don't trust what they can't categorize. And my wife didn't fit anywhere in her system. The first interaction was small, a knock on the door, sharp, confident, expected. I opened it. Karen stood there with a clipboard, smile that didn't reach her eyes. "We noticed a new resident," she said. I nodded. My wife. She hasn't registered with the HOA. She doesn't need to. Karen's smile tightened slightly. "All residents are required to comply. She's not part of your HOA." That was the moment the tone changed, because resistance triggers escalation. "We'll need her information," she said. "No, that's not optional. It is here." Silence, short, tense. Then she stepped back. "You'll be hearing from us." I closed the door. Because conversations like that don't end in agreement. They end in action. The first notice came the next morning. Unregistered occupant. Violation of residency policy. I read it once, set it aside, because paper doesn't change reality. The second notice came with more detail. Failure to comply may result in enforcement action. That word again, enforcement, used like a weapon, even when it isn't one. My wife didn't react, didn't comment, just read it, and went back to her work, because she understood something Karen didn't. Authority isn't loud. It doesn't need to be. The third day, Karen escalated. She showed up again, this time with someone else, another HOA member, more official presence, more pressure. "You're violating community regulations," she said. My wife stepped into the doorway.com/composed. "We're not part of your community." Karen shook her head. "You're within its boundaries." "That's not how law works." Karen's expression hardened. "You don't get to decide that." My wife met her eyes. "I already have." That was it. That was the moment Karen crossed the line, because when she couldn't control the situation, she reached for something bigger. She called the police. That afternoon, standing right outside our gate, speaking loudly enough for everyone to hear, they're refusing compliance and obstructing HOA authority. I leaned against the porch railing, silent, because sometimes you don't interrupt someone making a mistake. You let it happen. The patrol car arrived within minutes. 2 officers stepped out. Calm, professional. Karen walked straight toward them. "They're harboring an unregistered resident," she said. One of the officers looked confused. "Ma'am, that's not a criminal issue. They're refusing lawful orders." He turned to me. "Sir." I shook my head slightly. "We're on private property." He nodded, then looked at my wife. "Ma'am." My wife stepped forward, relaxed. "What seems to be the concern?" she asked. Karen pointed at her. "She refuses to provide identification." My wife tilted her head slightly. "To you?" "Yes." "No." Silence. The officer exhaled quietly. "Ma'am, she's not required to provide that to you." Karen's voice rose. "This is a violation." "No, it's not." And just like that, her argument collapsed, because real authority had arrived, and it didn't support her. The officers cleared out. No action. No report beyond documentation. Just done. But Karen didn't stop. Because people like her don't accept being wrong. They try to prove they're right somewhere else. And she found it. She filed a formal complaint, escalated it, turned it into a legal matter, non-compliance, obstruction, words that sound serious until they're examined. The hearing was scheduled quickly, because cases like that don't take long to review. Karen arrived early, confident, prepared, same clipboard, same posture, same belief that she was in control. I arrived a few minutes later, sat quietly, waited, because I already knew something she didn't. The room was simple, structured, quiet, no noise, no chaos, just process. Karen sat forward, ready to speak, ready to explain, ready to win. And then the door opened. My wife walked in, not beside me, not behind me, but to the front of the room. Took her seat. Composed, in control. Karen froze. Confusion first, then recognition, then realization, because now, everything she thought she understood collapsed. The room settled. Proceedings began. Karen tried to speak, tried to present her case, but her voice wasn't the same anymore, because confidence doesn't survive moments like that. Not when reality shifts that hard. My wife listened, didn't interrupt, didn't react, just let her finish, then reviewed the documents, claims, notices, allegations, all laid out, all examined. Then she looked up, direct, clear. "This property is not under HOA jurisdiction." Silence, absolute. Final. Karen tried to respond, tried to adjust, but there was nothing to adjust, because facts don't move, they don't bend, they just stand. The ruling was simple, case dismissed, all claims invalid, no enforcement authority, and more importantly, formal note on misuse of process, because escalation without basis has consequences. Karen didn't argue after that, didn't protest, didn't say a word, because there was nothing left. The HOA couldn't protect her, couldn't spin it, couldn't contain it, because this wasn't internal anymore. This was official, documented, final. She stepped down within weeks. No announcement, no explanation. Just gone. Same pattern, different mistake. As for my wife, nothing changed. Same quiet, same routine, same calm control, because she never needed to prove anything. And every time I think back to that day, I remember something simple. Karen thought she was calling authority into our lives, but all she really did was walk straight into a room where she never had any power to begin.